like 10 followers if this was on mushrooms.
Alright, I think you got it in a good spot.
Maybe I don't know how doing any podcasts. Final text message. Alright, so you guys didn't know this, but actually we got here, I think like 20 minutes ago. We sat down like 15 minutes ago, started recording, and Tavon's been trying to set up a camera on his phone for the past 15 minutes. He just actually got settled in and put his headphones in. So these are the first words from Tavion Green on our podcast.
Why are you saying my whole name?
Okay, and you heard her first voice. This is her first words coming through live. Cause bro, you gotta be. It's more official, bro. It sounds like you know what you're talking about when you say all of what defines a person.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm trying to do something here.
Your energy and everything has like gone. It's dissipated now. Now that we're actually doing it, you can't be serious. Like you were doing a good job by yourself the last like 15 minutes. Like you're at it. Now I sit down with you.
I'm trying to maintain some consistency in my energy, and I know I'm not gonna be able to sustain what I was doing for the next hour and 45 minutes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pretend like I'm just having a conversation.
Why do you keep moving and fidgeting around in the chair?
Cause I see Andrew. Cause I just try to imitate other people that are.
Andrew Schultz.
Yeah, Andrew Schultz, and I see people on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Okay, but he can do that. He built his own studio. He can take his shoes off. Like I just took my shoes off right now. He can do shit like that. You can't.
I'm not really worried about the visual aid that this is gonna offer. That this podcast is gonna offer more than what I'm able to offer audibly.
Bro,
I
you
really
sound really good actually right now. I don't know. It's
shit. But I can't. I'm watching my knees. Jonathan said you can't.
Another one bites the fucking dust.
Damn.
Wait. So let's go back to the Meghan Markle thing that you were carrying so elegantly well by yourself.
I honestly have no idea what that debacle is all about. I didn't even watch. Did you watch the Oprah interview?
I watched a few people on YouTube like react to it. So I watched like Bosch and Destiny and Jesse Lee Peterson and a few other people talk about it. Yeah, I really don't have an
Facts either.
on it either.
If we were gonna take something away from it, so the point of it all was Meghan Markle was saying that the monarchy, the pretend monarchy, which is like doesn't even mean anything or whatever, they just have it there for show, which is kind of dope because if anyone's watching Vikings or The Last Kingdom, that time period is dope, so that they're still able to have some memory of it and it still play a role in their society is dope. If we had a monarchy over here, that'd be sick. Just have like a king.
No, fuck no.
Not like.
I like it being over there because it's like still fairy tale land for me. Like when I think of England and shit, I think of like fucking history. I think of like the Chronicles of Narnia and like shit like fantasy books like where they got castles and shit. I like that, but that's for them niggas over there, not us. Like,
yeah, but they're just chilling. It obviously doesn't have any role in their political affairs or whatnot. I mean,
It's not connected.
No, they have like whatever government they have over there, and then they have the pretend monarchy, and then they have like the queen, and they just cycle through people or whatever.
That's what it's called, the pretend monarchy. Like it's not real.
That's what an American would call it. Or that's what an American. I know nothing about it, so that's what I'm gonna call it.
I thought because I was like, bro, I thought the king and queen was like the king and queen.
You thought that's what their government was?
Yeah, like the queen.
What,
like,
bro?
The queen came out looking like Voldemort. She like.
It's not at all.
She asked you, I need 10 child sacrifices today.
Bro, how would you think that Britain would be a dominant power in the world with the monarchy stuff?
Bro, they like mix it in with like modern like politics and shit. Like obviously the queen to me and the royal family and shit, they're like the president, right? But like obviously this ain't the fucking 1500s, so they have like other people that's probably more likely smarter than them because them niggas is like 150 years old and shit. They got like other people like, you know, guiding them on what to do, and then they come out like the Pope on like a balcony or some shit, and then they decree to everyone of the land and shit, like the Eastern, everybody comes to the palace and shit to get like, oh, king, I need this, queen, I need that. That's how I thought this shit worked.
No, I don't think so. I don't know if they have any. I don't know if they ask them for any for their opinion on things.
Like, I don't think the king and queen ask the people for opinion.
They don't have. I don't think they have a king. I think that fool passed away or whatever. They're just the queen, I think, right now.
Oh, matriarchy. They have a matriarchy.
Is that what it is?
I believe.
When the queen rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably why they're not doing so well right now, because they have a woman in charge.
Like, ooh. She's like old as shit. Bro, have you seen the meme of the old people? Like, of all the people. Have you been on Instagram lately?
Yeah.
Okay, so have you seen the meme? It's like they show all the people who've been like part of the royal family, and they're all like old and decrepit, and then they're saying that it's because of inbreeding and stuff. Which it could be true, because we learned that in history in high school, that they try to keep the bloodline pure, so they smash their cousin. And
like
shit.
back in the day, I don't know.
We don't know that if the tradition is still alive today. I'd imagine if them motherfuckers are racist, bro, like Megan saying they are, I wouldn't doubt that they're really trying to keep the bloodline like pure as it can be, because them niggas do be looking funky, bro.
I have no idea. I haven't seen those faces of them looking funky.
Look it up, bro. Look up the royal family right now, bro.
I don't even think. I don't know. You'd have to think that Meghan Markle is a credible source to believe her opinion.
She's a woman too. Of course, she's a credible source.
Is that in support of her? Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know. Somebody went in on her heart. But Ben Shapiro, you know Ben Shapiro?
Yeah.
That went in.
Fucking uncle.
That's the homie, bro. He went in hard on her or whatever. He was saying all types of like. She was saying that people were saying that the only reason she wanted to play the role is to elevate her status or whatever, and she was like, I had a career in movies or whatever, and TV shows or whatever. She was like, do you see how stupid that sounds? And he was like, that is not a vertical move, or that is not a horizontal move going from that to what you are now. He's like, it's not like your career was booming before you went and tried to become booming. Yeah, he said booming. He's like, it's not like your career. No, he didn't say one.
Oh, okay.
And then he was like, this is obviously a move upward for you or whatever. And I was like, dang, you're really taking shots.
Did you watch the whole like segment on him talking about it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you remember the part where he was like, Alejandro's a fucking bitch ass nigga?
This is what we do. We talk about other people's podcasts on our podcast.
He was saying he don't believe her. The only part he believes is he doesn't want it. Like when she said she wanted to commit suicide, that he's like, okay, he can't say if he believes that or not, because that's basically her opinion. He can't deny her feelings or whatever. But he was saying like, bro, them niggas ain't racist. Of course he's gonna say that, bro. With these types of things, bro, you know what everybody is going to say. Like, if you're on the left, you're going to say, oh, believe Megan, da-da-da. If you're on the right, you're going to say, oh, she's lying and shit. I think the beauty between us, two niggas that don't know shit, Charlamagne Jr. and Andrew Schultz, there's nuance, guys. So, yeah, nuance, new word, keyword of the podcast today. Title of the podcast is going to be nuance. But yeah, so with us two, bro, we can see through the bullshit, bro. Like. Mm-hmm.
They don't look crazy,
bro. Yes, they do, bro.
They look like regular white people. Oh, she kind of look. Man.
You don't see the. Bro, they look bombity, bro. I'm not gonna cap, bro. They look bombity.
Yeah, they shouldn't. I don't think. I think they're older. I think they're from a different generation. I think that there was
generations ago, bro. Like they should die, bro. What are you talking about? Give up the fucking world, bro. What are you doing?
That's wild, bro.
Do you think they have heating and air conditioning in a fucking castle, bro?
Bro, they probably have like the 26th century drones and like 3D like virtual
26th century. Oh,
yeah,
future.
Hella like advanced everything in there.
No.
She probably has.
Bro, they want to go back to the 1100s.
She for sure has a PS5. She has an Xbox One. She has like a combination of an Xbox One and a PS5.
What would you call that?
An
PSX.
Yeah.
No, that would be like a PlayStation 10. So
it's a PlayStation box.
Oh, that's funny.
Alright, let's talk.
No, but seriously, do you think they really live in a castle, or is it like a regular wall? But just
you know
on
what's
the
funny?
outside, it's
You know
like bricks.
You know what's funny about talking about this right now?
What?
There's people. These are like this is like very common knowledge to some people. Like, and we're talking about it like we have no idea.
That's what our podcast name is.
We don't even know that.
Off the mark, I believe.
Like, we're CGI right here, bro.
Speaking of our podcast, I want to discuss something, a gripe I have with you. This is gonna get serious, guys.
Might have to end it early.
First of all, the trim on your shoes matches the legs trim on the seat.
You can see my shoes. You're hella short, bro. You can see under the table. You're sitting down.
What are you talking about? If you scoot back, you can see under the table too.
No, that's facts. But I'm like leaning down.
What?
You're like standing up.
Bro, how tall are you even?
Like 5'11", 6 foot on Tinder.
Me too.
That's a little diggy joke where I say that so often. Go ahead.
Oh, so no one knows you're still in Lil Dicky's jokes?
I don't know. I feel like Lil Diggy's pretty prominent in
In white community?
the hip hop culture right now.
In white community?
Okay, so Snoop Dogg is the white community. Yeah,
What?
Yeah. Round one goes to 100. Just so y'all know, the first debate ever goes to 100.
Okay, I'll let you have it, but I don't know. None of my homies know who Lil Dicky is.
Lil Dicky doesn't know any of your homies. Like, what?
Wait, Lil Dicky doesn't know you either.
So I'm not saying.
Hey, bro, you think I can borrow this joke?
It's all good. If we did know each other, we'd be friends. He plays tennis, bro.
What does that mean? Bro, he's probably like a dick in real life, bro.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't know. He seems somewhat genuine. He definitely seems like he would micromanage based on some of the interactions he's had with people on his show.
Because he's Jewish.
Yeah, I mean, that's a given, but like, in addition to that, he's also very, it seems like he likes to get things done or whatever. He seems like he's a perfectionist to some extent, and he probably wants the team around him to also be of that standard. You can't have.
You learn all that from his Instagram profile?
He's talked about it.
He has?
Yeah. Things are heating up. It's like not recording.
No, it's good. I just wanted to make sure. And you guys know about the like metering and stuff of it?
Right. It shouldn't be like at the red, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you just make sure you guys got it good like that. And I wanted to also tell you, if you guys wanted to call someone, you guys could call someone on here.
Calls.
Like if you want to just call someone and them be on the podcast, you could do that. You just hook it up to your phone and then bring them in this way.
I didn't
like
that's
aux
smooth.
No, wireless.
Oh, it's Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then also if you want to do intros, you could hook up that to like Bluetooth and then have music and then bring it up like this.
Do you have to hit this in order for it to?
No.
Oh.
So do you want to hook it up?
Who's searching for a device?
Yeah, hook up real quick. I don't see.
Okay.
Miscellaneous?
Alright, we're gonna stop the recording real quick.
Alright, go ahead. It's like I'm
Sorry about that.
Oh, Tez BT?
Nah, it should say Rode mic.
Jam Party 6-0?
There.
Yeah, Road Pass.
Yep.
I'm gonna call this on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead and play some music real quick.
I'll just play the last thing I was listening to.
Lil Dicky.
So then you guys could like record like an intro on top of this music.
Oh, that's
And
fire.
then you know, welcome to the podcast. See you guys later. And cut it.
Were you listening to an instrumental?
No, this 4 year old only, bro. J. Cole.
And then you can make a call right now and bring him in, and then he'll be on the podcast. Or whoever.
Listening to
So I'm sorry, I wanted to tell you guys that before.
I
but
needed you to
that's-
tell me that.
Yeah,
actually
that's
appreciate
huge.
it.
That was huge. I was like, oh,
That
let me
is
just
huge.
tell them real quick.
Yeah,
Alright,
that's,
cool.
that's what's gonna take us to the next.
Right. And again, that's the control too. So record.
Thank you.
Caller, we have Jason Gilbert with us right now. You're on the
Famous Tom
you're
Gilbert.
You're on the Off the Mark podcast. We just wanted to check in on you, see if you had any contributions to our first podcast you would like to make.
Present your best self, please. We don't really want you to try to outshine us on our own podcast.
Facts, bro. If you could tone it down a couple levels.
A couple of you.
Don't be YSA, be just Tommy Gilbert.
Yeah. Wait, what?
No, bro, Tavian and I are doing the podcasting right now.
Oh, alright, well, shit, I'm on set right now.
Okay, tell us what you see. So I can play. He's like, I'm actually doing stuff for my career.
I'm adding value to the world. I'm an influencer.
So does that mean we're gonna say goodbye or what?
I'll call y'all back. Let me know how it goes.
All right, thank you for this exclusive. We're gonna go ahead and let you go, and we'll see you later.
I bet.
All right, go. We got it.
That was cool. So if you guys missed it, he came back. We actually learned a few things about the podcast.
If you missed it.
I'm pretty sure you guys missed it because we turned off the recording, audio-wise. But
That's fire.
will we get copyrighted for that? What song is it? What that? No, we won't. I mean, what are you doing right now?
We're gonna do a reaction video. Is that going up? I can't tell. It's not getting lit.
Hey.
Who's that? Is that YB McCash? Oh, what? Hey, that song's fire though. This song got a dope verse now.
Brizzy. What was I going to say? Hey.
You just look at Michael Jackson's poster and said that inspired you.
I was looking at Tupac and Snoop Dogg.
It's a dud thing. Bro, let's talk about what we want to talk about. Let's talk about things that we... Alright, so... chess, right? The world of chess. Have you been playing... Bro, do you watch... what's that movie with Anya Taylor-Joy?
No, but I
Chess Girl?
clips of it. Yeah.
Monarch... Queen's Gambit.
That is not what it's called. That is not what it's called, bro.
That is what it's called.
No, I know, bro. I recently heard of the Queen's Gambit, and I don't know what it's about, but I'm sure it's not about chess.
I don't want to talk about this anymore because you're so off. Yeah, it is dope though. She's kind of cute.
Yeah. Look what first comes up on my phone. When I open
Never mind.
Oh shoot.
Why would you show me that?
Oh man.
Alright, we're gonna take a quick break. Go from our sponsors.
Oh, it is about chess. What does gambit mean?
It's
Don't fucking wing it, bro.
I think it's an exchange of pieces, bro. I'm gonna look it up.
A chess opening in which a player risks one or more pawns or a minor piece to gain an advantage.
Oh yeah,
position.
bro, I hella had it. I didn't even
Mark
look it up.
intended to start a conversation or telling point, a calculated move strategy. So I'm trying to figure out why Gambit's name in Marvel is Gambit. I don't see how any of this responds to his correlates to his powers or anything. I've always wondered that.
Is that a superhero?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, we can hella talk about.
No, we can't.
It's
Let's
like-
get back
it's
to
an
the
anime.
Queen's Gambit. Where were you going with that?
I think I'm trying to make a joke to make it seem like as if we knew about chess. We don't really know about chess. I was gonna say something about hip hop. I was trying to think of something funny. We can edit this out, but it don't matter. It's
We're
like...
not editing right now. We need the world to see that maybe you're 1-0 right now, but I think that put me over. I'm 2-0, 2-1 right now.
What's the first one? Okay, that's 2-1 on the other way around. We should have a little there. Coronavirus. So are you gonna get vaccinated?
Bro,
Yeah, no, right?
bro, have you gotten vaccinated though?
No.
Why are you such a fucking liar, bro?
I don't. It's actually a problem, bro.
It really is, bro. You know how many lies you've told me in like the last month?
Like, I take. Like, I guess I'm sorry. My sense of humor is sarcastic, but I feel like I take it to another level. To now, I just lie.
You need to get help, bro.
That's just like my identity now. Like, I just tell lies. stone faced. Like, and it's honestly hurt my relationships.
Oh, that's why you're single.
To the point to where, but being genuine is definitely important if you're trying to commit to someone because you want them to see the real you. If you're trying to be somebody that isn't you, it's hard to sustain that longevity wise.
Did you just come up with that?
No, I think about it all the time.
Why?
I'm sure the thing about it is I'm pretty sure all of my thoughts that are like someone believe in I heard from someone else. So none of this is gonna sound original. All of what I say.
Yeah, you were trying too hard to think of something to say. Right?
Be genuine.
Like you were trying to remember.
No, I just think, bro. That's just what I do when I think. I try to take my time. Like Barack Obama.
Explain.
When you try to think of what you believe in, or when you're trying to say what you believe in, you should take your time to make sure that what you're saying is truly what you believe in and not just what you think sounds good in the moment.
You speak like there are commas. Like if someone were to type, what's it called?
It's like someone's walking upstairs.
No, if someone was to text out the way you type, it seems like they'd be putting commas in.
I'm a much better texter. I'm a lot better writer than I am a texter because.
What?
Because
I'm a lot better writer than I am a texter.
Speaker. I'm a lot better writer than I am a speaker.
1-1.
That's okay. I guess so. Yeah, because you can think about what you say and then you can trim off all the fat of what you think. Yeah. You trim off all the fat with of the message you're trying to get across. So all that comes across is the words that matter. Yeah. I mean, fat's important too. You know, like your diet should consist of a healthy dose of fat, especially if you're active.
Are you active?
As of late, bro, I've been proud of myself. Bro. I've been putting in work, bro. Anybody that knows me knows that. I take up a good amount of space when I walk into an enclosed environment, and bro, it's so
we have to push the camera way back to the back of the wall to get this guy in the whole.
Hey, you know, it's a whole lot of me to learn right now, but I'm trying to condense it like how you dry fruit. Like it's still just as nutritious, but it just takes up less space. That was a great analogy.
It really kind of was, but I feel like there's something missing from it.
I'm trying to be I'm trying to be a dehydrated apricot, bro.
Apricot? Or
yeah.
Apricot?
That's for the fans to decide, to be honest. You can leave that down in the comment section which team you're on.
Are we going to make a YouTube for this?
Where else would you post it? Spotify? I think we should do a separate Instagram account.
Yeah, we should. But my problem is we haven't agreed on the logo yet. So how can we start a YouTube with no logo?
Just put a question mark on for the logo.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, no, yeah, you should eat fats. I didn't know that the reason everybody got fat and now there's an obesity problem in the United States is because of that food triangle that existed back in the day, where like it was all bread on the bottom or whatever, and like candy and stuff on top or whatever, and then it was like all messed up. It's wild how nobody knows how you're supposed to eat in 2021. We just have a general understanding of what you should and shouldn't.
But that's like how it is with everything. So like recently I've been wondering why we work 8 hours and have like a 40-hour work week. Uh-huh. So I've been watching videos on that, and pretty much it started back in like I think the 1890s, because the Industrial Revolution and everything. You know, they were ruthless back in the day. They wanted to make
23-hour work days.
They said you only get a piss break, right? So boom, they started fighting the companies and whatever. And then they agreed on like an 8-hour work week somewhere down, I think in the 1950s or something like that. Which worked for back then because there wasn't as much technology and stuff like that. But now it really doesn't really correlate to today's work shit, right?
Why doesn't it?
Because we have the way we what's it called when you get something, the way we commute has changed. There's more people, so it takes up. So basically, an 8-hour workday.
People used to just walk to work.
Yeah.
On horseback. On horseback.
Right. So basically, the math was 24 hours in a day. Boom, boom, boom. Split it up. Work, rest, and then leisure time. But leisure time consists of anything that's not actually working or sleeping. Right. Problem is, most people sleep more than 10 hours. Well, a lot of people sleep less or more than 8 hours. It depends on whatever their schedule is. That's one problem. Another problem is the work isn't actually just 8 hours, because most people have to commute to work, and it takes them anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour to get to work, and then 30 minutes to an hour to get home. So 1 hour on each side is 10 hours. Now, if you have kids, if you have other responsibilities outside of that, it adds more time to that. So instead of it being separated between 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours to rest, 8 hours to do leisurely time, it's actually like 12 hours to work, maybe 8 hours of sleep if you're lucky, if you don't have kids, and then like 3 hours of leisurely time to do anything else with your family. Most people don't like that. I don't like that.
How's that different from back in the day? They had kids back then too.
They did, but I mean, I'm not fucking 100 years old. I can't tell you how it's different.
No, but you're saying this model doesn't work anymore, like as if it used to work. You said this model doesn't work anymore, like as if it used to work.
It probably did used to. There's a reason why they accepted it at the time.
They probably accepted it at the time because it was better than 23-hour work days.
Yeah, okay, so now we're moving forward and we need to say, yo.
Oh, I thought your point. I thought your point was that it used to work and now it doesn't work because
it probably at that time it was probably better than fucking nothing, bro. Dying and shit, because they were saying that like people would just be exhausted, and let's say back then, we had to work more like tougher jobs, right? We didn't just sit at desks all day and like eat candy and shit. We had to like go in the mines and shit and be next to big machines and soaking up smoke all day.
Go in holes and take out oil with buckets.
Right. And then, you got a 5-year-old son?
Why isn't he working?
He's at home. No, what? School. What school?
Your facts. English class.
Get up, boy, and show and tell me work at 8 tomorrow. Bro, imagine, bro, living in those times, bro. That'd be bumming, bro.
I think it's as It's as extraordinary. It sounds as extraordinary as it does because we're so far removed from it. Like when people say stuff, like I always think, like when people say stuff like, I don't know how people live without like Netflix or whatever, or air conditioning. It's like they didn't have it, so they didn't have it to miss it.
True.
So that's a stupid point to be
it's
like.
But
how you can't miss something that you don't have. Like we don't know what people are gonna have.
I'm not saying miss it, bro. I'm saying just imagine being 5 years old, bro, and your dad is like fucking like 16, cause. Your dad dumb as a brick and shit, but he know how to swing a shovel or a pickaxe or whatever. Y'all just working side by side.
Whatever the reference was.
Right. And your dad died at like 30, and now you're 16 with a 5-year-old, and shit, y'all doing the same thing, bro. Like, imagine being a 5-year-old working every day, bro. Like, and your homies play, but you should be playing with at the playground, bro. They're like dying, bro. Like, cause they're like getting smoked or getting caught in the machine. So that's bombity. That's what I'm saying. Imagine that. I'm not saying like, oh, I miss working. I miss when 5-year-old. I miss when I could tell a 5-year-old to go make me some coal or.
No, I was just talking about how people relate our time today to like time back in the day. How like people like the perspective that people had back in the day is obviously way different in regards to.
Yeah, niggas back then was dumb, bro.
This one, bro. I don't think the IQ has changed that much.
No, you don't.
No, I'm pretty sure I read something where the average IQ stayed relatively the same throughout the population, like where when like Einstein was around or whatever, like everybody that was there, they just have people are more generally educated or whatever, just because we have a more wider encompassing general education for people or whatever. It's easier for people to get educated.
So you don't think people back in the day were smarter than
Smarter?
I mean, less smart than people in today.
Like as far as like the potential or whatever that people had, like I think it was the same.
Of course, bro. The potential obviously is the same, bro. But I'm saying like, let's say
Like with life, like I don't think as many people could do like algebra, but like people understood how to like treat people or whatever for the most part.
so they had like
Or how to interact.
emotional intelligence.
They had the wisdom that came from like life experience.
I think that's more important than anything. So I'd agree with that, but I think today more people are dumb. So I think we got to a point where back in the days niggas was stupid, and then we got to a point and we were like, damn, we smart. But then we got to a point where we started tapering off and people started becoming more dumb. Cause I see a lot of dumb people these days, and I'll be like, yo, how are you surviving? So yeah, I probably say they're probably equal. Maybe like in the 1980s and 90s and shit, when the technology was like really booming, we was smarter. But shit, 3 decades down the line, we're probably dumb. We should probably be working in the mines back in the days.
No, we're just prioritizing different things. Like
Right.
people are prioritizing just having a good time, and as opposed, like I feel like there's less of a centralized focus on what we're all supposed to be doing as like a human race, or like just as like a nation. I think everybody has their own opinion, so everybody's like splintered and going in different directions, versus everybody being like, we have to get to Mars or we have to get to the moon or whatever. And everybody's like promoting that, or nobody's promoting that or whatever.
No one's promoting that?
No one's promoting like a central like focus. So like we don't have an ideology that we all follow as a nation. Like even like on like basic stuff like race relations and
Black Lives Matter.
yeah, you do. But some people can't. People can't say that or whatever.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Oh, you're here for this. You paid for this, so I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah, big bang. Yeah. I got it off from weed money. Drugging weed.
Probably. Or
But all right. So going back to my previous point about the 8-hour workday.
oh yeah, that was actually a good topic.
So yeah, and I was watching another video where it was saying like there's a point of diminishing return. As with everything, there's a point of diminishing returns where I believe when most people go to work, they clock in, boom, boom. It takes them a little bit to set into the job, and then once they get set into the job, there's about 4 hours of work that they're actually doing, and then the rest of the time, like specifically after lunch, they just dilly-dally and pretend like they're busy, or even if they get their work done, right? Because this is also a problem as well. You have people that can only work optimally for a set amount of time, probably like 4 or 5 hours max, and then you have people who what was that?
You're saying some
See,
people,
this is my memory, bro. Is really bad. I really have no idea what I was saying.
you're saying that some people do most of the work, some people don't.
Yeah. So, and then you have other people who can come in, blaze through their work, and get everything that needs to be done in like the first 4 or 5 hours, and then after that, they're not really doing anything because, let's say you have a business that you say, boom, we have to make 100 helicopter wings today. There are some people who are gonna come in, lollygag, stretch the workout 8 hours just to seem like they're being busy. You have some people that will come in, they'll knock out the 100 airplanes within the 3 or 4 hours that they have, and then they still are obligated to be there on the clock. So they're really not adding any more production value to whatever it is that they're supposed to be doing. So there's really like no need for them to actually be there. I've heard people make arguments that instead of having, let's say, 8 hours, we do it based on productivity, or we do it based on
Accomplishing like a goal.
yeah, accomplishing a goal, and yeah, just shit like that. So they say take away lunch. Say everybody works like 5 hours or something like that, and then that'll be better for the company because the company is the better people, the more the work-life balance, the better the work-life balance between people have, that people have with their jobs, is gonna ultimately come back into the workplace, and they're gonna be more enthusiastic about their work. They're gonna be less inclined to like take sick days, go on vacation, things like that. Obviously, if you love your job, you're gonna be there all the time. I think that's a good point. What do you think? I think okay. So this is my like idea. Okay. So for instance, I know that when I used to work at Walmart, right, I would go in and I couldn't really lollygag in the beginning, cause like as soon as you walk out, you're gonna be in, you're gonna have to work. You're on the floor with a vest. But as much as filling in the like time in between where we're not doing anything, I could probably say that takes off like 2 hours at least of the work day. And then once I went to lunch, it's like after you go to lunch, all you're doing is goofing around. Most people, a lot of people, all you're doing is goofing around, and then just staring at the clock, and then you're just like, yo, when is this gonna be over? So you're not really actively focusing on your job that you should be doing. So I think personally, so when I'm at my job right now, I can power through my whole shift for about like.
Where do you work right now?
7, 8. Don't worry about that.
You used to work at Jerome's?
Wow. Yeah. I can power through my job for like a whole 7, 8 hours really if I wanted to, but they have this stupid law, fucking labor workers. They have a stupid law that says you have to go to lunch if you work more than 5 hours or whatever. That fucks up my whole day, bro. Once I go to lunch, I want to go home after that.
I kind of agree with that, bro. I feel like I'm teasing my body with rest.
Right.
And then I get back to work, my body's like, bro, what are you doing, bro?
Right. So I would rather have a business work model like that.
Where you just work 8 hours?
No, you work like 6, right? You work 6, and let's say if you work in 6 hours, you're like at $10 an hour. Midwest broke ass fucks. The down south.
Basketball.
Niggas working for a bag of chips. Yo.
But like rent is also like nothing or whatever, so it's all relative. But we're low key working for a bag of chips. $20 bag of chips.
But shit, yeah. So I mean, I'd rather see like a 6-hour work day, and then they bump the pay up to like, let's see, overtime is time and a half. So if you're doing, let's say you get paid 10 hours, you work 8, that's 80. Let's see, if you do time and a half. So if you work 6, you bumped up to like 12, that's 72. I would see, yeah. So I would say. They should bump your pay, give you like a 2 hour or a 10-15 minute break every 2 hours, and then give you like maybe, let's say if you work 10, you get 10 hours, you get like $12.50, and then it won't be probably exactly the 80 that you're used to getting, but I feel like you'd be more satisfied with that. And this is where I'm gonna hand it off to you. What say you?
Right. This is way too many topics or points you're trying to make. Yeah, just whatever maximizes productivity and keeps people happy or whatever. You should put people in a position to have success. You should look after people. I think the people in charge of the business should look after their employees, and the employees should look after the customers.
Do you think that's really possible?
Yeah, we have to make it possible. You just have to commit. You just have to look after people, bro. You just have to be like, it's better for me to try to take everybody into consideration or whatever. I'm trying to make money. Making money shouldn't be like the priority, but it becomes the priority when you help, like you put people first, because then everybody makes money and then they help you make money or whatever. So.
Do you believe that?
Yeah.
You think if you put.
It's better because you don't want to be the type of manager or whatever where people are only working when you're around. If you're the type of if you're the type of person that people want to work for or whatever, they're gonna work hard for you regardless of the situation or whatever. They're gonna be having a bad day, and they're not gonna let that deter them from working hard, which is making you money in the long run or whatever. And it's better for everybody. But as far as like the work week goes, like you shouldn't be working in anything regardless of like however many hours you're getting, if it's not what like you're really trying to do in life or whatever. So even if you are working 8 hours or whatever, and it's not like essential, it's not it doesn't fit your life aspirations or whatever, you should work that until you can make a better decision or whatever. So we shouldn't basically what I'm saying is you shouldn't really focus on however many hours you're working. I think that's an irrelevant point to like take into consideration. I think you should just focus on where that's gonna take you, and maybe it's gonna take you to somewhere where you're gonna stay working 8 hours because that's what you want to be doing. But there's nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with an 8-hour workday.
The 8-hour workday, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with it. Yeah, because some people are just built to it. Some people really enjoy working. Some people really enjoy their job. Some people have, and then you have people that don't like their job, but they have to work. And then so you have a situation where you have to work at least 8 hours. Mm-hmm. Then you have a system of like, let's say there's 24 hours in a day. So you have to work 8 hours, and then there's only 24 hours in a day. So even if you didn't want, what were we saying? Like it shouldn't matter about the hours.
Yeah, the hours don't matter.
Right. But like we're in a system where you have to work. So
the one that's saying, go ahead.
We're in a system where you have to work. You have to work 8 hours, and then you have to. And that day is cut off at the 24th hour. So even if you, so how would you say someone can get fulfillment out of life working 8 hours when the 8 hours is cutting into everything else that they feel like they want to do in their life?
The 8 hours should be part of what they want to do in life. Like your job should be part of what you want to do in life.
Why though?
Because it's gonna take up like a third of your life basically, right, or whatever. Why would you not want to have a third of your life be something that you want to do?
But most people don't want to work. At least where they are. At least
yes,
where
they do.
Are.
People want to be productive. People want to be productive and they want to be fulfilled. The thing is, people associate work with some like form of like distress or whatever, versus something that's fulfilling. You can like what do you like? Like it's just like what do you like doing? Exactly. That doesn't have any. That doesn't mean
they don't have the ability to.
No.
Obviously, most people don't want to work at McDonald's, bro. Like no one wants to do shit like that. They'll probably rather have a job where they fucking focus on their talent or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not feasible. That's in our
Why is that not feasible?
So you think that's possible for everybody to work in whatever field that they want to work in?
I think it's feasible that it is. It would be. There's a chance. There's a possibility that people work hard enough. Just based off like stories that you hear of people overcoming like whatever circumstances that they're faced with, and like the majority of the people that say stuff like, "Oh, it's not possible for me to ... they're in no like at all close range to like people that actually overcame some stuff. They're just working like 8 hours and have like a dog or whatever, or like they're not making that much money. It's just a lack of motivation. It's not, and a lack of clarity as far as like the avenue that you have to take to reach your goals. It's not that it's not possible. Yeah, I would say it's possible.
Obviously, it's not impossible, okay, but there's a point. I don't agree with you at all. I don't think everybody can do what they want to do in life. I don't believe that. I've seen people.
You have to be realistic. Hard. Yeah.
Sure, but even if you're realistic, you can't predict every outcome. You can't control outside external factors, and I don't think our society would work if everybody had to. If everybody was doing only what they love to do, because obviously there's some things that people don't like to do but are necessary. Like I'm sure no one wants to fucking go pick up trash, but if no one comes to collect the trash, then that builds up on the roads and the streets and hurts our environment and it decreases our overall standard of living. Mm-hmm. So there are some jobs which I'll argue probably the majority of jobs. I think every job we have today is necessary, and the people that are doing those jobs aren't necessarily loving those jobs, but they do it because it gives them money.
Yeah, you definitely need to. I think that's where. When people say like some jobs are like teenage jobs or whatever, right, like earlier on in life when you don't have any when you don't really bring any value to the workplace.
That's the problem. That's something I have a problem with as too.
You can give those people like jobs like that and take like the brunt of like jobs that people don't want to do in general, like picking up trash or whatever. I feel like that would make sense because it's like when you're getting started, you're just trying to make money, and you're trying to set yourself up for what you're gonna do in the future.
So picking up trash is setting yourself up for what you want to do in the future.
Mm-hmm. If you're getting paid, doesn't matter what you do as long as you're getting paid.
I would argue the complete opposite. I feel like you should be able to go do, like back in the days when you had like apprenticeships and stuff. You want to be a blacksmith when you get older, you could start going being a trade. You could be an apprentice at like fucking 10 years old, and then you can learn to be. You don't have to start picking up trash and then like after like 5 years of doing that, okay, now you can come train to be like a blacksmith. Like,
well, it's a problem. It's a problem that we have in society. We have a lot of trash, and then we have to come up with this. Like back whenever, I'm sure people were just getting rid of their own stuff or whatever. So if we wanted to eliminate that problem, we had to come up with a way to eliminate the problem. We did have to take responsibility upon ourselves or whatever, or yeah, there would just be we had to come up. I'm sure there's people that like picking. I'm sure there's people that love being garbage people.
Probably, yeah. But I'm sure there's more people that don't like being garbage people.
Again, those people aren't garbage people.
You don't think so? I don't. That's like a moot point because we really can't prove it. But like, I'm sure there are more people doing garbage because it pays well as opposed to like they actually enjoying their job. I think that extends across every industry.
I think the point is though, you have to do what you have to do to get to where you want to be or whatever.
But you don't. I think you don't have to though. That's my point. That's why I don't agree with that.
That's just like a philosophy though. Like that's like thinking that way is irrelevant because it's not the way like the world is set up right now. If you want to move in a direction to where we're setting the world up like that way, to where it's like people don't have to like work in things that they don't want to do to get to where they want to be. Like
you don't see how backward that makes like sense to you.
To do the best with what you have currently.
No, that's not your argument. That's not your argument. That's not what you're saying. You're saying you have to do what you don't want to do to get to where you want to be, right? Yeah. Okay, and you're saying that's making the best of your situation, but it's not. It's literally not making the best of your situation. How? Let's say you hate your job. Let's say you are a garbage person, right? Mm-hmm. You're like fucking 18, right? You're like, yo, I want to be like an engineer or some shit. I don't have the money to pay for engineering school, so I'm gonna go pick up trash until I save up the money to be an engineer, right? Mm-hmm. Along the way, what happens if you get depressed? You quit your job. You'll never make it to, or something happens to you that you can't control, right? So while you're like on your way there, boom, 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 doing something that you don't want to do, you really don't need to do it. It's only there because it's an arbitrary rule. It's arbitrary that, oh, hey, you're a nobody right now. In order to become somebody, you have to trade years of your life to get to where you feel like you want to be. Even though you have the potential to benefit society in a different avenue, if you were allowed to do what you wanted to do. I think that's...
What do you mean allowed?
Allowed, as in, when you're, let's say, okay, I think in the NBA, right? You have to do 1 year of NCAA basketball, right? You have to. That's just the rule. Mm-hmm. Okay. Even if you're someone like Zion or someone like LeBron, well, he didn't have to because the rule wasn't there back then. But the rule is you have to do 1 year in the NBA. You could, in the NCAA. Now, you're so far ahead of everybody else that's in college basketball, and you want to be in the NBA. There shouldn't be a rule saying you have to stay in college basketball for right now, for whatever reason, paying dues or to make people. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, all you're doing is paying dues, which I think is dumb, and bringing value to other people that probably have nothing to do with anything else that you're gonna do in your life. So that's dumb. I feel like you shouldn't have to do that. If you want to go to the NBA and you're good enough, and somebody wants you, which people do want Zion as a fucking 16-year-old, yeah. Right? He should be able, like they doing here. You should be able to go to the NBA, and then you'll be adding value to the NBA. Correct?
That's pretty anecdotal. That's
I
a
don't
very
think it's anecdotal.
specific situation.
But that
'Cause
specific situation can be applied to any other thing.
Because
So
we have to figure out who offers value or whatever
exactly.
at a very young age.
Right.
Like, that doesn't exist or whatever.
It doesn't exist. So if there's a 16-year, okay, this is what something that.
Because in that situation in particular, in regards to like people being able to go to like to the NBA at a very early age and just disregard college or whatever completely. The point, part of the point or whatever, I think that they're trying to emphasize is that the majority of the people aren't going to go into the NBA. So for people just to focus on basketball or whatever is, and then a lot of it's money is just to focus on basketball or whatever isn't like the thing that should be prioritized. They're trying to promote like an educational.
But that's not.
And then they're also trying to like get something out of the athletes or whatever. They're
right.
like, we're giving you this exposure or whatever to make the NBA a feasible option to you. So like,
but
we
the
also
NBA
want
is
something in
already
return.
a feasible option based on the physical. Do you not believe
but people can stand out in college because like you're able to play with like top level competition, and then they organize that.
Sure, they can, but that's like a fucking 17 bully, a 300-pound lineman playing with like fucking little kids just because he's the same age as them. If he's good enough and he can play with the older kids, he should be able to play with the older kids. The only reason why we can't is because there's a rule that says, you have to wait for this time and this time and this time, bro. And my philosophy is, bro, at the end of the day, bro, we have one life, right? I don't think there should be barriers in between.
Not according to my cousin.
Yeah, I don't think there should be barriers
Dimensions
that separate us from doing the things that we want to do. So, if I want to be an engineer, right, and I don't have the money, I guess that makes like a good. If I'm good, let's say I'm good enough to apply for a scholarship, I'm good enough to get the scholarship, but I can't get the scholarship because I'm 15 or whatever the case may be. I think that doesn't make sense because if I'm on the same level as everybody else that applied for the scholarship and I actually can get it, but the only thing holding me back is my age, I think that's dumb. Now age isn't the only thing that I consider when I'm like thinking about these things, but like whatever the situation may be, I don't think there should be. I think you should be able to go do anything that you want to do when you want to do it, as long as you're ready. So you're saying, oh, you can go to college and stand out. Sure, you can, or you can go to the NBA and fit in. Why would you not want to just go to the NBA and fit in? If that's your goal, if that's what you want to do with your life, you should be able to do that. The only reason why you can't is because people want to make money off of you, and that's just a system that goes. That's an ideology that goes across like everything that we do in life. We can't do certain things because somebody said this isn't the way you're supposed to do it, even if you're fully capable of being able to do it.
People that want to go to people that are actually able to go to the NBA after high school are such an anomaly. That it's not even like worth like making that a rule. I mean, it was a rule for like however long it was a rule, and they only recently changed it so where now you have to do at least 1 year or whatever. And I mean, I'm sure there's other reasons other than
there's no other reason besides they want to make money. That's literally the only reason, and I don't think that's fair. It's not a fair thing, and I don't think it's one of those unfair things, but it's a rule of life. I think it's just something that we just accept because people at the top make the rule. But I don't think there are some things that are unfair, like starting out from the bottom. It's kind of it's kind of unfair, but it's just like a rule of life. So that's cool. We just deal with that. But something like stopping somebody from doing something that they want to do that they're fully capable of doing, it doesn't make sense to me. It's only there just for someone to make money.
I mean, it definitely is there. I mean, I think it's a mutual benefit to the athlete and the institution or whatever.
Explain the benefit on the athlete's part.
I mean, if you getting college paid for is for obviously a benefit. If you go to college, because like Zion isn't gonna be in the NBA until he's 90 or whatever.
Sure.
So some type of background or a different background in a different type of professional setting is gonna be of use to him later on in life.
Where is the practice that he's getting in a professional setting?
If he goes to college, if he were to have gone to college.
He did go to college.
Did he go 4 years?
1 year.
No, that's what I'm saying. But he doesn't have a degree.
Exactly. So why should he have to go to college in the first place?
No, that was my answer to the question. Of that's the background in a different professional setting. If you were to go to college,
What background did he get in a different professional setting?
if he were, that would have been the benefit of going to.
But that's not but that's not what people do when they go to college and when they go to the NBA. They're not there for the education at all. No one goes to college to get the education and play sports.
That's what I'm saying. That's the benefit of. That's the mutual benefit.
Where is the mutual benefit? Do you think
going to college and getting a degree,
bro,
getting your college? Not everybody
Zion
goes
doesn't
to
have
NBA.
a degree though.
You're talking about one. You're talking about like
Nobody that's
0.0001%.
Nobody that's one and done has a degree.
You're
they
talking
have
about,
to leave
you're talking
once
about
they leave.
0.0. Like you're talking about such like 7 people or whatever. Like
No, more than 7.
but like nobody. Like you're basically talking about nobody.
The top, right?
The
If you're the
majority-
top and you have the ability to do it, you should be able to do it. Is my point. Like
That's not. You
there's
keep
no
jumping back
reason-
and forth between point. You're talking about like
That's
what
the same
what
point.
benefit. You're talking about what benefit it has. Now you're talking about like your other point.
No, that's the same. It's all the same point. What benefit does Zion have going to? What benefit does anybody have going to college for a year? They're not gonna stay to get the degree, right? What benefit do they get from the school? Is my point.
That would have been a benefit. I'm saying
Would have, but it's not because they don't stay there. They don't go. And then this is what
that's
happens.
up to him.
But it's up to him to
It's
go in the future.
also what difference does a year make, bro? Like what the heck? Now he's in the NBA.
A year makes it so you'll be willing to just say here.
Kobe
here's
Bryant.
a free
Kobe
year of my
Bryant's
life.
first year.
Here's a free year of my life.
Kobe Bryant's first year in the NBA sucked, bro.
Who
I'm sure he learned. I'm
cares?
sure he learned a lot, or whatever.
Who
but like,
Who Exactly. It doesn't suck.
he
This is the point.
even when he went to the NBA, he was like he had a terrible he had like a terrible first year or whatever, and he was looking back and he was looking at all his like friends and stuff in college, thinking like, dang, maybe I made the wrong decision or whatever. It's just whatever.
But he had the choice to make. He had the opportunity to make the choice.
Yeah,
And that's another one of
it
those
doesn't make that
things
big of a
where
difference in the grand scheme of things, though.
Bro, yes, you can't say that. You can't just say, I'm going to take this time away from you and make you do something just because, it doesn't matter. I don't feel like that you should be able to do to people.
Why should everything be stirred up on a silver platter like that, though? Like, people were trying...
It's not.
It's a business or whatever.
Bro, exactly my point. Why do we have to be beholden to a business? Like you said in the beginning, you said there's a mutual benefit on both sides. There's only a benefit on the side of the business, which is the NCAA. You still haven't given me like a benefit on the side of somebody that just wants to go play basketball, which is why LaMelo didn't go to school. Like, and you see it worked out for him, and I'm
It didn't work out for LiAngelo.
Nigga, he got kicked out of school.
Yeah.
Like, he got kicked out. So.
Yeah, so it didn't work out for him. If he would have stayed in school, he might have actually gone to the NBA.
But he couldn't stay in school because he got kicked out.
I know. He made a stupid decision.
So, I don't get what the point.
That has nothing to do with whether or not what would happen if he stayed in school. That he got kicked out.
He couldn't stay in school.
He didn't get kicked out because of school, though. Like, he got kicked out because of the decision he made.
Right. So, if a regular person is going to school and they got kicked out, what would be the difference? Even if they didn't play basketball or anything, they're just going to school to get an education and they got kicked out, what would be the difference?
If a regular person that... What?
Okay, let's say you don't play sports. Right?
Yeah.
And you go to school, you're doing your work, you do something stupid like steal and they kick you out. What's the difference between him and LiAngelo?
One plays sport and one doesn't.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. And LiAngelo can still play basketball, right?
Yeah.
So why does LiAngelo have to go through the NCAA to play basketball when it doesn't matter where he's going to play basketball? Like, he went overseas, he can still get to the point that he wants to go. But the only reason why he went to the NCAA is because it's a rule.
What is the rule, anyways? Like,
you have to play one season in the NCAA. You have to be 18.
but like, I think the rule is you have to be 18.
You have to go 1 year to the NCAA.
People get drafted,
Or
like,
you have to go overseas.
you have to go overseas.
I'm pretty sure.
How do you get, like, what if you get, yeah, like, I'm sure there's other ways. Now that I think about it, you probably don't have to go to play in the NCAA.
You have to play in the NCAA.
That's not the only avenue to the NBA, though.
It's not, but this is where I'm saying the choice comes in, right? Overseas, if you're good enough to play, you can play in the league at like 16. And then from then, if the NBA wants you could be 16 and whatever the case may be. If the NBA wants to get you from overseas and you just have to wait till you're 18, cool. I think 18 is cool. That's cool. Mm-hmm. But what I don't agree with is saying, but over there, it's not, the overseas basketball isn't connected to education. It's just basketball. Because why would you put education in someone? Do you think Zion is using the things that he went to class for, which he probably was never in, because come on, NCAA players don't go to class, and I know because I went to school for 5 years, and I know all the sports players were never in class, and then what they would go is they would go, oh hey, we're going to come to your office hours. You go to office hours, and then they say, all right, here, do this, and that, and then I'll give you a B, and the coaches go meet up with the teachers, and then they give the kids a passing grade. I know, I've seen that firsthand. I'm sure that's not how everything works, but for the most part, that's how it works, and I don't see how that benefits the athlete and the educational side.
That's true.
So my point is, what's the point of that?
Should do the work. Should get those assignments done.
What? Do you think Zion is using anything that he learned in college right now?
I don't know, maybe. I don't know what classes he
Be
took.
real, bro. Be real. Stop trying to be like this devil's advocate, bro. Be real, bro.
Nah,
Just be real.
I'm sure he has some times where he has to like add numbers and.
But he learned that in like 8th grade.
He has to look back to his algebra. Maybe his algebra teacher in college taught him something that he couldn't. Maybe he took like a philosophy course, and that's why he lives every day like it's his last. Honestly, if I'm being real, I don't even know what the issue would be with people being when LeBron and Kobe going into the NBA after high school.
I don't either.
But I also think it's of incredible benefit to people that aren't going to have a professional career in sports to get their college paid for and then get a degree. So I don't see a problem with that system in that way.
Repeat that?
It's a massive benefit to people that aren't going to have professional careers in sports, getting a degree and getting their college paid for. And then they're basically their payment for the labor that they're offering the school is a degree. And I don't see anything wrong. Like, people are like, should college players get paid or whatever?
Yes.
And yeah, some people say yeah, and some people say
they should.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can make a good point, because like some athletes that are on scholarships have like no money for like anything additional or whatever. Right. So
and I know it.
Yeah, shout out to Pookie and Charmander.
The people that are going to school.
Yeah, we talked a long time about this.
The people that.
What was the point?
The
point was like
taking away, putting arbitrary barriers when you're ready to do something in front of people just because to benefit off business, just to get money or for them.
That's fine too if you want. If you want to build that system where people are just able to go into whatever they want to go into, like as soon as they're ready, that's fine. But that's just not how it's set up right now.
Okay, my point is not, tomorrow I'm gonna build this system. I don't care. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense, and you're saying that it does make sense. My point is it doesn't make sense, because the people that you're saying that are going to college, you said, oh, some people are going to college and getting their college paid for it, they leave, That's their choice, right? They're not good enough to go to the NBA. So why should the person that is good enough to go to the NBA have to do the same thing?
It's a very specific example too.
But it goes through everything, bro. If you're a genius at like 15, and you're way above.
That's a very specific example too.
It's not.
You're just talking about anomalies. You're talking about.
Bro, it's not an anomaly, bro. I'm sure there are people everywhere doing whatever industry that they're in. They're good enough to be at the top. Or
so you think we should cut out the general education aspect of college, like the 2 years?
Yes. Yeah. There's literally no reason for it. If you're not, there's literally no reason for it besides, hey, I need more money from you.
Do you think it's important to pass on the progress that we've made, like intellectually, like basically the basic general ed progress that we've made to as many people as possible?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. I always think of it in terms like if the world were to like come to some like apocalyptic end, you would want as many people to carry on the basic knowledge, like as much of like the basic knowledge as we had as possible, so we could use that as like a foundation.
Do you think that people that have the basic knowledge about certain things are capable enough to use it?
Basic knowledge. No, like I feel like there's a lot of people that don't know how to do like calculus or pre-calculus.
What's the point of trying to teach them something that they can't get?
I mean there's arguments. There's arguments from both sides. It's the exposure to everything in general, and then people being able to nitpick what they want just so that they know.
They should have the choice though, right? To nitpick what they want, correct?
Yeah, the point I was making though was that you're giving them the exposure or whatever, and then once they're provided the exposure or whatever, they're able to progress through like the rest.
And then if they can't, you say, yo, do this over again. And if they can't, you say, yo, do this over again. If they can't, you say, yo, do this over again. Like,
no, yeah, I definitely,
I don't fuck with it. What's the point?
I get that point or whatever. That's like not forcing people to try to find utility in things that they're not gonna have.
Right.
Eventually.
Right. What's the I don't see. These are things that I don't agree with, and it doesn't make sense to me. I can be convinced. I can be convinced to like believe and make it make sense. Someone just has to make it make sense to me. I don't see why any of these things make sense.
Why the general ed, the first 2 years make sense?
Yeah.
As opposed to.
Don't see why that makes sense. I don't see why if you're a garbage man. And you know how there's levels in like every business, so you start out at the bottom, then you go up, You should be able, if you're capable, if you can prove that you're capable enough, let's say there's like a test or something, if you can prove that you're capable enough to come in at like a level 3 as opposed to a level 1, why are you not able to?
They have placement exams in like different areas of business.
Name one.
You never heard of a placement exam?
In the military, I have.
Well, there you go. That's an example of like people utilizing that.
So
that process.
Okay, let's say you're trying to work at Walmart. Can you take a test and then come in as like a manager?
I've never. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can put in your resume.
The resume, I would say the resume isn't as equivalent to a test, because before you get your resume done, there's barriers that I was talking about before that you have to prove yourself. There's no like study book that says, yo, if you can prove you're competent in this situation, then you have the potential to come in as a manager. There's no test for that. The way they test for that is they say, hey, come in, start at the bottom and work your way up. Now, coming in and starting at the bottom and working your way up is cool, but I feel like that's taking away an opportunity. Because in life, bro, some people are capable of achieving more and some people aren't. And that's just a fact. So I feel like the people that aren't capable of doing more shouldn't have to compete with the people that are doing more. Like, if I'm a billion times smarter than somebody, I feel like I shouldn't have to start at the same place they do and take away one of their spots for somebody else to come in that's probably going to stay there forever. I don't think that's a good way to go about things.
If you're really that much better than other people, you shouldn't have an issue standing out amongst those people or whatever. Quickly, if you're, I don't see how that takes away your time when you have to start at the bottom, because we don't know that you're smart or whatever when you start.
We do. That's why
the point of it is to make a general even playing field for everybody to showcase their talents and abilities, and then once you're able to stand out, that's when you're rewarded.
Do you think okay, so if you come in, going back to the college example, the bar is you have to do 1 year. Let's say after 3 games, bro, everyone know, even before you even come into the NCAA, people have an idea of how you're going to perform against the competition, correct?
They have a
general idea, right? Based off the previous, right? Where I feel like high school is just something that everybody should go through, and I feel like high school is a proving ground. So I feel like if you go to the NCAA and after like 3 games, you're like, bro, everybody knows, because these are things people know. They know Zion is going to go to the NBA. They know that. Like, it's like a fact, bro. But they say, we want you here for this amount of time, even though you're way above these people. You have to stay here for this amount of time, even though you're obviously ready to go to the next level after like 1 game, 2 games, 3 games. Why does he have to do that? Is my point. Why does he have to go into this thing and say, like, let's say you're working a job and they say you can't get a promotion until like a year. What is the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, they just decided to make it a physical time period or whatever.
So I get that part. It's
'Cause
only on a part of the only on the business.
Because that's how long a school year lasts. So
what?
that's the reason that they use that time.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like, bro, I want you to convince me, bro. I really want you to convince me.
Honestly, don't really care about it one way or the other. If I'm being honest, the idea that people can go into the NBA after high school, I don't see a problem with that. I'm just saying,
but
as far
you
as
also don't see a problem with them having to stay a year in college, though.
Honestly,
because you said there's a benefit on both sides. I just want you to show me what the benefit for the person would be. That's it. That's all I want you to do.
I don't think it's so much that there's a benefit for the person as it's a standard that everybody's held to, that helps promote the idea of being a student athlete with the student coming in as a priority.
But it doesn't. It's the point.
Yeah, I'm not saying if they feel like
so
it,
this.
if
But,
feel
so
like
if you're
that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that we should get rid of the system. That just means that we should polish the system up. That just means that we should hold people to that standard that the system is supposed to promote, where you're a student first, and we shouldn't let athletes skate by because of the financial benefit that the institution receives from their performance in sports or whatever. We should just hold people to the same standard or whatever. Hold student athletes to the same standard that we hold regular students to.
Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think it's possible.
I mean, anything's possible.
I don't think it's possible because there's an aspect of money involved. There's an aspect of notoriety involved with that stuff, and there's an aspect of politics. So it's impossible to hold the athlete to the same standard as a regular student.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have more to gain from the athlete than they have from the regular student.
No, yeah. So you just have to prioritize the right things in life. You're not prioritizing what financial benefit the athlete offers, but you understand what you're there to do, and it's to educate children first and prepare them for whatever it is that they're gonna do. If you're not gonna do that for people, then I would think that you should let them go to the NBA or whatever.
So you agree with me?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with it. That's what I said. I don't see a problem with letting people go to the NBA after high school.
So why did you make the point that there's a benefit on both sides? Cause I still don't see the benefit. Like I said, bro.
I was pointing towards the benefit of
education, correct?
Yeah.
And then if there's no benefit for education, when Zion's done playing, like you said, he's not gonna be playing basketball for 90 years, right? Of course, he's probably gonna be playing for 10. Okay, then he can go get an education after that. Why does he have to go start an education and then which is not really a real education, and then go back around and do it again if that's what he chooses to do?
That makes sense. It kind of seems like they're making him they're making the anomalies that could play in the NBA after high school suffer for the
that's my point.
Suffer for the
to get money.
No, suffer
to get money
to promote the idea that that going to college is important.
I can agree with that, but yeah, I can agree with that. I just don't think
getting
an
education is important.
Do you think it's fair?
I mean, I don't know. They're gonna make millions of dollars anyway, so it's hard for me to say that they're
right. So
I think it would be messed up if they were to go to college.
Wait.
And then get injured. That would suck.
Yeah, and guess what? When you get injured, bro, you're off the team in a lot of times. Unless you have an injury that you're gonna come back to. You're either gonna be off the team, or let's say you stay on the team, but someone else comes in and then they kind of take your spot, and now you're pushed to the back, and you're probably not gonna make it to the NBA after that. Maybe you stay 4 years or whatever.
You gotta get that degree.
And you gotta get that degree, but at the same time you still have the same schedule as everyone else. Bro, listen, what doesn't make sense to me, they have tournaments, they have practice, they have games at the same time that they're supposed to be in class. They're oh, I can't come to class, or I have to leave class early because I have a game. I don't see if the sports is interfering with the education. I don't see how you can say education comes first. And if you go to school on a sports scholarship, if you can't play that sport anymore, you don't have a scholarship anymore. So that means
Is that true?
Yes, yes, it's 100% true. If you get an athletic scholarship, bro, and you can't play that sport anymore, you can't go to the school because they're not. How you gonna pay for it? And then now you have to go back and be a regular person, and you have to be like, yo, I'm gonna apply for this, and that scholarship, but you can't play the sport anymore. So that means the sport is not connected with the education at all. That means they're two separate things. And if they're two separate things, why do you have to pretend like they're not? They're not separate things and say, hey, this guy's a basketball player. He's gonna come in for us for a year. We know he's gonna be out next year. Just give him passing grades because we have to show people that people are passing in order to play sports. That's all it is. It's all just like a fake. It's fake.
How do you have sports at a school without it interfering with school?
They can be outside people. You can have like how like some prep high schools they have like a regular school and then they have a sports team, but the sports team can be composed of people who go to schools that don't have sports teams. They can be composed of people who go to like charter schools, private schools, homeschools, like schools like that. I think that's a better model because they just want to play basketball and to act like or whatever the sport it is, but to act like the sport and the education is together is just it's a lie. So
you're saying they should do it independently?
Yeah.
So you shouldn't go to school and do sports at the same time?
I mean, if it works for you, if you're the person who you're good enough to play at that level, but your priority is education or something, I feel like you should be able to do that.
So it'd be like an MBA before the NBA?
Yeah.
And then just not at all connected to school?
No, not connected to the school. I mean, if you're a student and you want to play and you can go try out or whatever system, you can go try out and they say, oh, we think you're good enough to play on our team, you should be able to do that, right? I feel like
Isn't that just like amateur basketball?
Maybe. I don't know how amateur basketball works.
So you just, like, you're 18 and instead of going to college, you just go play professional, like, internationally or something?
If that's how it works, yeah.
So, I mean, it does exist then?
Sure. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying why do you have to go there and play 1 year? And we know that the NCAA is the biggest stage for people. So if the argument is this is the trade-off that you have to do, if you have to you can go overseas if you want, but there's not a guarantee that you're going to get into the NBA. This is the highest level of basketball that's going to be played. You have to come to the NCAA. And in order to come to the NCAA, you have to agree to stay here for like a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you give the person that choice, okay, that's cool, but why like hide it behind like education? I don't. That's the part that I don't understand.
I don't think they hide it behind education. I think
you don't think so? You don't think you said it yourself that education comes first, and then sports is second. So they're hiding. They're hiding.
There was just schools initially, and then they were like, you know, it'd be dope if we played basketball here or whatever.
You think they were just schools to begin with,
or like whatever educational like facilities existed,
and then they added a team later on, right?
Yeah, and then
independently,
it just developed into what it is now. They were like, wouldn't it be cool? They'd be like, our school could kick your school's ass at basketball, and they're like, nah, or whatever, and then they played, and then people watched, and now there's March Madness.
Yeah, that's cool. But they came in, right? They came in as students, and then they said, yo, this guy looks like he could be good, this guy looks like he could be good, do, and then they give you the choice to say, do you want to do both together, or do you want to just be in education? That's when the education comes first, right?
Do you want to do what?
If you say they started out at just a school, right? And then they say, yo, it would be nice if we had a basketball team because we believe we could beat y'all kids' asses, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. That's when students first, and then they say, yo, there's also this thing that we're trying to do to prove to other schools that we're better. Do you want to be part of it? And then over time, it became this thing where it's like, yo, we want to be the best at this. We don't care how good you are at school. We are going to come and get the best athlete that we can, and then the school is separately, that's independent. So this is what I'm saying. It's not even about education, bro. It's independent. The fact that if you can go to school on an athletic scholarship, and then you can get injured or you can get kicked off the team or whatever. Then they say bye bye. Like, bro, that means that their focus is the athletics first, and then everything else comes secondary. And if that's what they want to do, that's cool. But like, don't act like it's connected to education, and education comes first.
Yeah, I'm sure for some people, for athletes going there, or for some athletes going there, their career in basketball or in sports comes first.
And then, so do you think that's fair? Because every college has like a limited amount of people they can like.
But you can say that with anything. Like if an engineer major goes, their engineering, their involvement in engineering comes first over like their philosophy course or whatever. Their engineering, whatever it is that they're studying in engineering, comes first before all of the other everything else that school is offering or whatever. That's everything. But it's everything else.
But
it's the same thing. You're trying to be an engineer. You're trying to be a basketball player or whatever. It's the same thing.
It's not, because no, sports is different from education. Engineering and philosophy is both education. You can be just as adept in engineering
it's a profession,
as you
though.
can as philosophy. Though.
An MBA, a basketball player being a basketball player is a profession. Being an engineer is a profession.
Correct.
Yeah, it's not it's in a way it's independent or whatever, but it's all attached to like the general ed and whatever other classes you're taking that aren't a part of your profession. If you're trying to be an engineer, this isn't helping anything. If you're trying to be an engineer or whatever, and you're trying to be a basketball player, you still have to go to school and do everything else in order to become.
Are you saying these two people are the same person?
I'm saying they're both, as far as like it being independent, like what is your focus or whatever. I'm saying that they both have a focus. One's focused on engineering or whatever, and one's focused on being a professional athlete.
So they're two different people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And both of those people have to deal with everything else that comes with the opportunity to try to reach that goal of being a professional in that field or whatever, which is going to college and like finishing like whatever, just how we have it set up. So it's the exact same thing.
So the engineering person only has to stay for a year, then they can go be an engineering an engineer at like the highest level.
If they get noticed, yeah. My friend did an internship like a year into Berkeley at Tesla or whatever, and I think now he's like working at Tesla.
He's working at Tesla. He's not at school.
Mm-hmm.
He's actively showing the company that he's going to work for that he's good enough to hang with them, right?
At the internship, yeah, but he had to go to school to get that exposure or whatever, and then the school benefited because he paid the school or whatever, and now he's able to do what he's able to do because of what the school was able to offer him, and what he offered the school, which was payment or whatever.
You don't think he could have gotten there like a different way?
I don't know what other avenues there are to becoming an engineer at Tesla.
I think the only avenue, for one, I don't think this is a good argument because I think sports and like academics are two different things. I think if you're an engineer, you're saying, oh, you still have to take the same general ed classes. It's academics. Like, of course, if you're a basketball player, it doesn't matter whether you can add 2 + 2 unless like you personally have like money and shit.
Do you think those classes are useful for people that are majoring in engineering?
No.
And you're saying they're not useful for people that are trying to be professional athletes?
No.
So it's the same thing. You're saying it's different, but it's the same
But
thing.
one, okay, you're not taking a spot from anybody because you can be bro, if you're an athlete, bro, you don't like know how to do like whatever, like let's say whatever class you're in, you're stupid. You don't even know what the fuck is going on, but you really don't care because you're like, you know you're not going to utilize this. I think that's different because they're both in the same realm. I feel like that argument would have to go with, let's say, you're in the NBA and you're at college at the same time. I feel like that would be a more parallel argument because, like, I feel like academics and sports is separate at the end of the day, no matter what.
Yeah, this is if you're trying to, I don't know, all that matters is what you're.
I want you to make me understand, bro. Like, more, like I want you to give me like more detail, bro. That's what I want you. I don't see how an engineer is the same thing it can be compared to a basketball.
No, I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm just saying that both people have to focus on. They're forced to focus on things that aren't their main focus or whatever. Like a professional athlete has to focus on algebra class, and an engineering major has to focus on English like 114 or whatever.
But you don't think engineering and English is like in the same realm compared to English and basketball?
There's a lot of communication in basketball. Like, I don't know what
Bro, what the fuck?
you're saying. Communication 120.
Oh, bro, but
you become a basketball coach, bro.
And what?
And then you have to utilize all those things you learned in Ms. Young's class.
So I gotta like know what a gerund phrase is, what a past participle is, a present participle is to be a basketball coach.
I don't know what those things are, but I'm sure that there's literally.
This is my point, bro.
I'm sure
What's
that
the point
I'm sure
of
that
this?
there's literary devices that you could use in your everyday life
That would automatically translate and qualify you to be a basketball coach, correct?
to be a better basketball coach, to be better than somebody else. If you know what alliteration is, and the other guy does not.
You got this. You're gonna win the championship.
Thanks, bro. That's the difference. That's the difference between Doc Rivers and.
Bro, that's bullshit, bro.
And
That's bullshit.
that other guy that didn't win a championship.
That's bullshit. That's literally.
We got
bullshit.
13 minutes left, by the way.
Okay, that's cool, bro.
Maybe we should wrap this up.
No, we should.
No, this topic by trying to put a bow on it.
Okay, go. We can put a ball in there and we can just say one.
Alright, you say your point, I'll say my point.
Just like you shouldn't have to start at the bottom and pay your dues just because society says that you have to.
You should definitely. Okay. Yeah, the purpose of starting at the bottom is maintaining an even playing ground for everybody.
Bro, but that's not true. It's not even, bro. It's just not even. This is, bro.
What do
It's
you
not
mean?
even, bro.
Because you're saying people aren't even?
People aren't even. I think people can be if you're going, there are some people that teach their kids before they go into kindergarten, so it's not even. Like,
No,
you're
people.
Oh, correct, right?
But the circumstances even is even.
It's not even though. It's not,
For
bro.
Walmart,
If you have the
Walmart,
same test for everybody, but this kid has already been learning this shit his whole life, bro. How is it even? Why should he have to be there, and why should the people that are there that are not on his level have to be there with him? Is my question.
Because we don't know that.
But we know that. I just
the
said
manager,
that.
The manager at Walmart doesn't know who's done what in their life coming into it or whatever. They have like their resume.
Right.
Also, why are you applying at Walmart if you feel like you're so much better than the people at Walmart?
Maybe
Why are you? Because you apply for the job that you want. Why would you apply for the shopping cart job if you want the general manager job? Apply for the general manager job, bro. That's how the world is, bro. You have to, in order to build credit, you have to build credit. Like, you feel me? That's just how it's set up or whatever. It's just like if you're trying to get a job, you have to like show job experience. But if you don't have any job experience, how are you supposed to show job experience if you've never had a job? It's like, that's why I want this job, to get job experience. It's like, that's why I'm trying to get this credit card so I can start building credit so I can get like have good credit. It's like, oh, but you need credit. It's like, okay, like, or whatever. That's just how it is. That's just how it's like. How else are we supposed to be like?
My point is it fair and does it make sense to you?
Yeah, because how are we supposed to? Because it's all about trust. How are you supposed to? Because you're putting a person in a position of responsibility. You're putting a person in a position of power or whatever in like something where like money is going to be circulating. You want the best person for that position, and the only way to do that is to see what they're about or whatever. And it's like, why would you apply for a shopping cart pushing job? Like, it's like, I have an IQ of like 130 and he has an IQ of like 90. Yeah, facts. It's like, I'm way better than these people. Why am I here? It's like, you put yourself there, bro. Like, that, yeah.
Okay, but in Walmart, there's no barrier that's stopping you from coming in as whatever you come in is based off your resume.
Yeah.
If you're in the NBA, you absolutely have to do this one thing. It's different.
Most people are like, how many people are trying to recruit people out of high school anyway?
A lot.
Like, how many players are really like getting recruited out of high school or whatever if that's not a rule?
A lot, bro. Why do you think it was happening so much back in the days, bro?
It wasn't happening a lot. It was Kobe and LeBron and like.
And I think that tall nigga Kevin Garnett, Durant.
The like,
you don't think
Hall
Zion
of Fame
Been,
players.
okay, why should they not be able to get? Is my point. Everybody's circumstances
I'm not saying they're
different.
not. I'm not saying they can't.
But they can't though. Is the thing they can't though.
Yeah,
I
I didn't make that rule. Like what?
Okay, so that's what I was asking you, bro. If you're the anomaly, right, and you're better than everybody else, why are you not allowed to go to the next level without paying dues or whatever the case may be?
You know what I'm saying? Maybe.
Why is that? Why do you have to do? Why can't you do that?
Yeah, these are all like crazy, amazing players, bro.
And
Moses Malone.
And they have great careers.
Tracy
They ended up having great careers, right? Why, if I'm so super smart, I'm an engineer, why do I have to go to college for like, do general education for like 2 years before I can go do whatever I really want to do?
If you, unless you don't have to.
You have to.
You can go to college. You can go to trade school.
You can go to.
There's other avenues or whatever. People like the experience of going to college. Like that's why people. That's why.
Except the bullshit.
Like I mean, that comes along with the.
Do you think?
With the parties. And
wait. Do you think a 4-year university holds the same weight as a trade school? When you were younger, did you aspire to go to like?
I didn't even know it was an option, but I mean, I didn't.
Correct. That's my point.
But I mean, that's
my point.
Because, like it's more to do with my upbringing than anything else.
It's probably everybody. I didn't know what a trade school was either.
I'm sure that there's other like wealthier kids that knew more options or whatever.
Sure, but I still think more wealthier kids are going to universities as opposed to trade schools. I think there's a stigma with trade schools, even though they're pretty much both doing the same thing. And I'll argue the trade school is better financially and like as opposed to everybody else. But
I don't even know how trade schools work.
You go, nigga, and then shit, you go over 2 years, and now you're a professional.
Yeah, no idea. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that though. Just do what you do. Try to be the best of what you can be and get after it.
And then, but
you gotta be hungry.
You have to just give us 3 years of your life before you can do this stuff. Oh shit! All right, cool.
Yeah, it's an investment. Whatever it is that you're trying
to do,
whatever it is that you're trying to do, you have to invest
investment.
time. You have to invest time, and then that pays off later.
Guess what? You were investing time while you were getting to that level that you were at when they said, "Hey, not so fast, bucko." So what were you? Everything you were doing, you were preparing yourself on your own time, bro, before you went to where you had to go. And they said, "Oh shit, actually, bro, we need 2 years of English, 2 years," and you're like, "What the fuck, bro? I know this shit already. So what's the point?"
I think AP exams are help to eliminate
they
that.
You don't skip though. You don't skip general ed just because
you can't. Like, there was a dude that came in like when I was going to community college for the 1 semester. There was a dude that came in talking about how like all I need to do is take like 2 more classes, then I'm done with my general ed. Because of all the AP exams. If you pass an AP exam, that means you don't have to do it in.
There is no AP exam in college.
No, in high school, if you take AP English and you pass that exam, I didn't have to take, like, I was able to go past, like, the first English class or whatever, because I had already taken the AP exam or whatever, or passed it.
But there's still classes in college that no matter how smart you are when you come in, you have to take, for instance, university English. So they have, like, a regular English, which is, like, English 150, which is, you can skip that if you get, like, a certain grade on the fucking SAT or whatever. And then there's another English class that you have to take as university. It's introductory to college writing and shit like that. That's equivalent to the year that Zion's in high school. He has to do, in order to get the degree, we have to take this University 100 class to prove that we're smart enough. But we already proved it because we skipped the introductory class already. So this is my point. Why do I have to be in this University 100 class when I already proved to you that I'm a genius?
I mean, yeah, you don't have to.
You do, but you have to though. It's literally one of the requirements.
In order to do what?
To graduate and get the degree.
I don't know.
Me neither.
Yeah.
It's dumb, right?
Cause I didn't think you had to. I thought you could just take the AP exams.
No, you have to.
The fool told me, he was like, I only gotta take like whatever, and then.
Do you know what school he went to?
He was talking to a counselor. I talked to him like 3 times.
Oh shit, yeah. Cause literally on your
I don't know his last name.
On your diploma and your graduation, it literally says the University 100 mandatory for all incoming freshmen, and then it says met or not met, and then it'll tell you the classes that you skipped.
We're getting into the details. Basically, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna take out general education, but I don't know.
You're still trying to make an argument for it when it doesn't make sense to you. That's why it's so hard to do.
The part that makes sense to me is like passing down the knowledge of like your predecessors.
And you think the only way to do that is to make everybody have a certain level of... Why can't the best people do that? Why can't the best people just do it?
I would think you would want as many people as possible, not just the best people, to have like that general understanding of like where we are as a society.
You don't think the best people are capable of doing the most work, more efficient?
Yeah. Jordan Peterson said that the square root of any number of people in a business do like
80% of the work.
A crazy amount of work, yeah.
I think the 80, it's like 80-20, right? The best people do
something
80%.
like that. That's why 1% of the population have like
$1 billion.
99% of the, like the money or whatever.
So you think if we lost that 1% that we still be able to be like ourselves, like we still be able to work fine?
If all of the if there's no billionaires all of a sudden,
yeah.
If there's no billionaires and millionaires all of a sudden,
yeah.
If you have more than $1 million in your account, you have to jump in this well.
Yeah.
Then the next day, how would we
fare as like a society?
I don't know. We'd probably, I have no idea. Probably be a lot of people that wouldn't have jobs.
Okay, so why can't the best people at the best things and do the most work and be the most efficient at it and keep it on like that? Why does everybody have to do the same thing? Because some people are not capable of becoming millionaires. Why are we trying to force them to become
They're not millionaires because they can do algebra.
Bro, I'm saying, bro, you're...
What? Doesn't make any sense. They're not millionaires because they excelled in literature class, bro.
Bro, I wasn't talking about being a millionaire. I was just saying the best people that do the best. Bro, never mind, bro. I can't even explain it to you, bro.
And we're gonna go ahead and wrap that up. Thank you for listening to the podcast 001 of Awesome Work podcast. We're gonna go ahead and get you with that outro music. What should outro music be? Oh, bro, we should do some.
Oh, damn.
Wait, hold on, I got you.
Are we gonna get copyrighted for this?
Yeah,
What song is that?
Don't worry about it. Like, that's the intro to the Andrew Griffith show.
This guy, you're corny.
We talking about we're not monetized, like we're not making money.
It doesn't matter, bro. It's an automatic system.
That's an automatic hold down.